place to sit and rest for a while, perhaps sipping a glass of wine, sometime between 5 p.m. and Jeopardy. Some of you are here because you saw her on her daily, and I mean daily, long walks and hikes when she would walk the Thompson Creek Trail, greet and feed the horses, then come back to Higginbotham Park to do exercises, all the time having her wonderful and remarkable conversations with God. Or maybe you were in the university club with her, where she was so active and involved and talked all the time about the programs and who was speaking and who wasn't, and whether or not she agreed with them or believed whatever they said. I am here in a lot of capacities. I am a rabid fan of the Wisconsin Badgers and the Packers, because Nancy went to school at the University of Wisconsin and I grew up there. I was a neighbor who spent lots and lots of time on that front porch. And the name my Swedish ancestors carried to the United States up to Ellis Island was Magnusson. So thank you, Chuck. But what I cherish most was being the minister here with Nancy as a primo member, enthusiastic, a proud convert after having been raised an Episcopalian. She was always very proud and impressed that they let her into the Congregational church. Here she was on Women's Auxiliary, she was a deaconess, she was a bright moment in our weekly Bible study. She lived the faith she believed and shared her relationship with Christ with radiance and excitement, and she carried that faith everywhere, and it helped carry us through our own difficult moments. There were times in the deepest of tragedies when she was the one place where a family could find comfort in the face of unspeakable loss. So it should be no surprise that one of her last and longest and deepest involvements here was as the coordinator for our band of prayer. For we know that she not only shared the prayer requests, but she prayed those requests with the same fervor she gave everything else. So we are all here because Nancy touched each of us in so many ways, in so many places. And we know from that smile of hers and that curiosity of hers that we touched her too. In fact, she made us feel as if we mattered so much. We were important to her, but even more importantly, more than anything, Nancy loved her family. The love that she and Chuck shared inspired all of us, always. And no one can speak to that more eloquently than her son Bill, who, as I said before, is defying his mother's wish that no family members speak at my funeral, but we are so grateful that he will.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. My mom was my teacher. She was my brother's teacher. She was a teacher at Philadelphia School, but her best teaching she did at home. I remember her sitting there reading to us when we were too young to read, and we're just looking at each other, getting in trouble, screwing around, and then she'd discipline us and say this is what we had to do it, and she'd come up with some kind of motivation that would motivate us. The memory that sticks out the most in my mind was I wasn't academically motivated. My favorite subject was recess. I was great at lunch. I was MVP at lunch. I'm sure guys like John and Dave and David will tell you, if there was a game out there, I wanted to play it and I wanted to win it. Kenny may be here too. But my mom was a competitor, and she found out that I had got into the spelling bee in 5th grade, that somehow, luckily, in my class, I was able to make the top 3 and be in the spelling bee. And I remember coming home, and usually I'd come home with a trophy, either football or basketball or baseball, and something. And that's the first time I came home with an academic award. She was so fired up. And I saw the smile on her face, and it made me happy that I had made my mom proud with something academic. Little did I know the next 4 hours were going to be with a dictionary and flashcards, and I was going to the finals. She wanted me to win. So the next week, it was every day when I got home, which I tend to stay after school for sports, and I would stay later at sports practice every day because I knew when I got home, it was going to be more flashcards and more spelling words. It ended up I placed in Pomona, top 3 in the school spelling bee, and it stuck in my mind, even though I did not like academics, that my mom thought it was important, therefore I should be good at it. My mom was a cheerleader. If you had contact with my mom, I guarantee she encouraged you about something. As I look around, I see my brother Jim, and Jimmy was a great baseball player. And I remember him getting cut from a freshman team, a lot like Michael Jordan did from his basketball team when he was a freshman. And I remember my mom telling him, just encouraging him, if you love it, keep doing it. Nike has a thing, and it's called Just Do It. Well, that's my mom. Just do it. But Mom, I got cut. Just do it. Well, lifting weights is hard. Just do it. Running up the airway is hard. Dave, just do it. Putting your boots on, going out for a run, that's hard. Just do it. She wasn't a big fan of whiners or complainers. She let them know that. She wouldn't let us whine or complain about things without her ragging on us. When I was 14, I was at our football camp at Claremont High School. I was a quarterback all the way up until that point. I see a few guys that I played football with here. It makes me happy to see you guys honoring my mom. And I remember a coach, Coach Esper Kaiser, working with us, and he said, you want to be a quarterback? I said, well, not necessarily. I just want to play football. Wherever I play is fine. He said, well, you hit pretty hard. Why don't you try to gain some weight? I think I was 105 pounds in 8th grade, and he said, I think you need to gain weight, and I have a plan for you. And it was about 5,000 calories a day, 5 to 6 meals a day, 2 workouts a day. And I told my mom, I said, Mom, this is what I want to do. And my mom said, okay, what do we got to do? I said, well, there's supposedly stuff called protein powder, and we need to go get that. And Coach said if you eat oatmeal and peanut butter and jelly and whole wheat bread and take protein shakes and eat a lot of bananas and eggs and things like that, that you could gain 20 pounds of muscle. And my mom had always been the one that wanted to stay skinny, so she didn't know about this gain weight technique. She said, but I'm going to learn. And we got explained to us that every 3,000 calories you ate above what you burned was going to be a pound. So she helped me gain 30 pounds from May to August. And I went to 135 pounds. My freshman year, my 8th grade year, I was starting quarterback. My freshman year, I started at nose guard. And that was my mom. I wouldn't have been able to do it unless every day when I got home, she had my protein shake ready. She had my vitamins ready. I'd be so sore. And she'd tell me, you know what, you got to get a weight room over here at the house so you can get ahead of those other boys that are lifting over there for an hour. So me and my buddies and my brothers, thanks to my brother's girlfriend, Oshman Sporting Goods, for those of you who remember those days, we got 1,000 pounds of free weights in a bar and a bench and cleaned out the single car garage, which if you guys have a single car garage, it's usually a mess, right? So we cleaned it out. We call it Magnusson Stevens Oxford Street Gym. And my mom was out there in the garage, cleaning the garage with us, telling us where to put stuff, and saying, this is going to be great. Just being our cheerleader, this is going to be great. So for my freshman year, I had a lot of fights at school. So my mom said, well, you know what? We need to get you a punching bag so you stop punching people and you start punching the bag. And I was all for it, and so were all my friends. So at the end of my freshman year, I'm born in May, we got a punching bag for my birthday, put it in Magnusson Stevens Oxford Street Gym, our single car garage, and part of our workout every day after we got done lifting weights was hitting that bag. And pretty soon the bag wasn't good enough, and she said, "Hey, do you want some gloves?" And then we got some gloves. That gym, by the time I was a senior, was fully equipped. It wasn't that big, but I had friends all over the place, all over the valley. I had guys from Chino and Upland and Pomona that would drive up to Claremont and work out with me in that single car garage. And if you look at the people that worked out in that garage, a lot of them are sitting right there in that row and over here, and Kenny lived behind us. But I remember Mark McGuire coming over there and not being able to last. I remember Johnny was working out with him and Jimmy was working out, and I remember him leaving early. And that's always been a source of pride. People will tell me, "Hey, you know Mark McGuire?" I said, "Yeah, he could never handle our gym." And we used to go outside and play basketball outside of our single car garage. That was legendary. And my mom would make sure whenever I came home from college or whenever I came home from Madera or Fireball, where I'm coaching now, she'd make sure we had a new net and that net was ready, because she knew that, of course, me, I'm the best player there, but Dave Stevens and John and Dave Villanueva, people put up those nets, and we'd have actual basketball players come over there like Aaron Whittam and guys like that, and they would score on our driveway. They'd leave with bruises and bumps, and so we took a source of pride, and my mom helped us do that. And I don't know, without a cheerleader like my mom, that would ever happen. One day I get a call. "Hey, Bill," it's from my mom. "Chuck had a really good bench the other day." "What do you mean?" She said, "I mean at night." "Well, what do you mean?" "Well, one of our friends, Chuck Highland, just walked into our garage at 11 o'clock at night, started lifting weights because he didn't want to miss a workout, because if you belonged to our gym and you missed a workout, we made sure you knew." We had names for guys like that. Winners don't miss workouts. Friends don't let friends skip leg day. Things like that. My mom loved that, because my mom loved to work out. My mom would get up in the morning and do floor work. She'd go hiking every day. There's a little park up by where we live named Higginbotham. And it wasn't a park when I was a kid. They made it a park after I left. But she loved that park. She'd go up there every day. So she gave us the gift of working out. My mom was a minister. Yeah, she might not preach to you out of the Bible, but all my friends knew if they did something wrong, my mom was going to rag on them. She was going to get in their face. She ministered to me in ways, and my brothers and my friends, when it had to do with our athletic endeavors, when it had to do with academics. Every Mother's Day, my mom would have us write a letter to her in pencil. And we would say, "Mom, we're just going to text it to you." "Nope, not good enough." "Okay, we'll email it to you." "Nope, not going to cut it. I want it handwritten." So I'm going to conclude with one of mine. And my mom was a grammar freak. Beth is probably behind me laughing, because if there was something wrong in a sermon, you might have heard about it once or twice. Yeah. Try that 7 days a week. My mom loved the fact when I told her, when I was 21, I accepted Jesus Christ into my heart to be my Lord and Savior. And I told my mom, "I think God's going to take me a little bit different direction than that steel mill I'm working in Irwindale." She said, well, what do you think? I said, well, I started coaching a football team up, Debbie's nephew, and we went 10-0, went to the state playoffs and lost in the finals. So I think God might be taking me into coaching and teaching, and that was my mom's feather. I was a feather in my mom's cap. She loved it, because up until that time, she would say, you would make a great coach. You would make a great teacher. And I would say, are you kidding me? I'll never be a teacher. Guys don't get paid enough, no respect. Nah, I'll never be a teacher. I should have said, the rule, never say never. But my mom was so proud when I told her I thought I was going to be a coach and a teacher. She just kept encouraging me. So she said, don't forget to write me a note every Mother's Day. And this one is, this is the start of my high school career. Increase strength and endurance and decrease the fear. With love and support from my mom and dad, I improved a lot. I wasn't half bad. By my junior year, I matured like wine and wood. The plans had worked. I was quite good. Wrestling with Bronk, Lepore, and Coach Payne reinforced my belief in no pain, no gain. My senior year, my parents were there, older and wiser, a lot more gray hair. Football was up, wrestling was down. My sicknesses had me wearing a frown. But my mama said, son, get up and fight. Don't burn out or burn up, you better burn bright. She went to my banquet with my shoes and my jacket. She got a standing ovation. Oh, what a racket. A senior prank, I got caught. The cop said, you're through. My dad came back with, they got nothing on you. I'll never forget the look on the cop's face when Dad said, son, let's go. You're getting out of this place. There were many great times in my high school career, but all due to my mama and my daddy dear. Thank you guys for coming. I love you. Go Wolfpack.
That is a testimony to Nancy as teacher, cheerleader, minister, and more than anything, mom. Again, I want to remind you, following the benediction, please join us in Pilgrim Hall, which is through the back breezeway, to see a slideshow that Michelle has prepared, and have a glass of something cool to drink, and then you'll get more information about the reception in Claremont. Please join us. The 4th of July was Nancy's holiday. I mean, every holiday was, but the 4th of July was legendary. So it's appropriate, since everything she loved was red, white, and blue, that we end our service singing hymn number 696, America the Beautiful. Please rise.